So finally, we're in Brescia, the largest city in Lombardy after the capital Milan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Weekend Out. My name is Gaurav. Naam to suna hoga. We're continuing with our international special of Weekend Out in Italy. Very sadly, this morning we left Como and now we have come to Brescia city. This is a city in the province of Brescia as well. This is a very popular tourist destination, especially within the people from Europe. Now here's how the story goes. When people from Europe decide to travel, or even people from within Italy want to go to a lake destination, they come to Brescia. And now you'll ask me, Are, you just showed me Lake Como as a very popular lake destination. Now, Lake Como and Brescia are competing with each other because Brescia is very popular for its lake called Lake Garda. Now, this is the situation, okay? Lake Como is the deepest lake in Italy. Lake Garda is the biggest lake in Italy. Now, people in this province believe that Lake Garda is actually more beautiful than Lake Como. But there is a tourist advantage to Lake Como because there is a villa by George Clooney. They think that's what makes Lake Como more popular and that's why more tourists come there. But from within Europe and within Italy, if you ask me what is the #1 tourist destination, it's got to be Lake Garda. Now you and I will decide for ourselves when we go and visit Lake Garda, and then we'll see what is more beautiful. But for right now, because I have just come, I'm going to take a trip around the city and notice the city a bit.
This is a Saturday morning and the atmosphere in Brescia is completely unbelievable. My new friend and guide in Brescia, Roberto, has actually decided to show me how people spend their Saturday afternoon.
Okay, so this is my first morning in Brescia. It's a Saturday morning and I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing. Now I'm going to a place called Osteria Al Bianchi. This is probably a 100-year-old restaurant and they've got a Saturday morning culture. And the culture is that a lot of young people come here and they have only aperitifs. So what they're having right now is white wine and some fried fish, and like you can see, lots of young people having lots of fun. Okay, so I decided to try the local delicacy here, and what I've got on my table is donkey meat. Now, I have never ever tried donkey meat in my life. This looks very interesting. It's called Stracotto Asino. Stracotto means well-cooked. Asino, of course, means donkey. So this is a well-cooked donkey served with polenta, and I am going to try it because I believe in it. You have to try things, and only then you can decide whether you like them or not. This looks and smells great right now. It's nice and tender. This is very similar to well-cooked lamb. It's melting in your mouth as soon as you put it in. It's breaking in like threads in your mouth. I think this is amazing. Stracotto Asino. I love it. So next time you come to Brescia, try the donkey.
सिर्फ aperitif से मेरा क्या होगा? So after having a complete lunch, I'm out to find out a little bit more about Brescia and its people, and of course the wonderful, rich Roman culture. To help me with this mission, I met Elena, a very charming lady who's apparently also known as the Google of Brescia history.
So Gaurav, here we are. This is the first square, the Forum Square, which represents the Roman times because here we have the origins of the town of Brescia. The Forum Square was very important. It was the heart of the town, the religious heart because of the temple, you see. This temple, it was founded in the 1st century AD, perhaps by the Emperor Vespasianus. It was the so-called Capitolium temple because it had 3 celle, 3 rooms dedicated to the main Roman gods and Jupiter, Juno and Minerva, so 1st century. But you know, something very interesting, there is an older temple underneath this temple. Hidden under this temple, there's a previous temple. Beautiful.
Now, since Italy is known for its architecture, this is a very important and interesting place to be in Brescia. Now, this is one of the town halls of Brescia, and this has architecture from 3 different ages. Like if you see behind me, this is something that was built in the 12th century by using stone. Then it moved on to bricks, and this is something that was built in the 13th century with use of bricks completely. And then what you see in front of me is the use of another local stone, and this was made in the 17th century.
So we reach the third important square, which has the new and the old cathedral side by side. The old cathedral is called Duomo Vecchio and the new cathedral is called Duomo Novo. Even though it's called the new cathedral, this was built somewhere between 1604 and 1825. Makes me feel like construction in such places must have stopped by the 19th century. After all, at a stage 70% of the world cranes were in Dubai. Lastly, we arrive to the last historic square of Brescia city, and that's the Piazzapaola. Now, compared to the other squares, this is very much modern. Now, we've seen monuments, architecture, historical squares, but one thing that had me completely awestruck was this universal clock. Now, also named as the Torre del Orologio. This clock, mind you, is still in working condition, and it was built in the end of the 15th century, and by far it is the most complicated clock in the world. So after taking that beautiful and remarkable tour on foot, all I can say is the whole past is the procession of the present. And presently, my insights are leading to the procession, taking me to my hotel as the day comes to an end.